Let's face it, grant writing is tough. With so many applications vying for limited funding, it's easy to feel like giving up before you even start. But if you're ready to launch or elevate your grant writing game this year, you're in the right place. In this video, I'm sharing 9 grant writing hacks that I use on every grant proposal, and I'll sprinkle in a few pro tips as well. Whether you're working on a grant for a small business or a nonprofit, these strategies can help you stand out from the competition and get your application noticed. Before you put pen to paper or fingers to keyboard, you need to understand why the grant funder is giving away this money in the first place. Grants can be awarded by a government agency, a private foundation, or a corporation, and each of them will have different reasons for offering grants. If they have a website, which most do, study it and pay close attention to who they want to support, which projects they're interested in, and where on the planet they want to spend their grant dollars. Let's say they want to support education. Is it all ages? For example, if you want to operate a preschool, but they only support career development for teens, that's not a match. So maybe you have that career development program for teens, but you work in one part of the state while they only fund grants in the other part of the state. So that's not a match. Pro tip, that level of geographic precision is very common, and it's important to get it right. Once you have that figured out and you have a grant funder in mind, see if they offer workshops or meetings to learn more about them and their grant process. When I'm interested in a grant, I will always attend the workshop. Funders will often put a fine point on what they're looking for in their presentations, and what they miss gets picked up in the Q&A at the end of the meeting. Pro tip, most grant workshops are free, virtual, and recorded. So if you can't attend when it's live, register to get the recording. And then watch the recording. Get that insider information. If the funder is local, you might be able to request an individual meeting to help build that connection. They won't tell you how to write the grant, but you'll be better prepared. In any case, try to understand as much as possible how your application meets their priorities. If your project resonates with their values, you're more likely to catch their attention. Now we're into the writing part. First thing, get that title right because it sets the tone for the rest of the grant funder's reading experience. It has to be short, but also bold and clear to quickly convey your message. Let's look at some examples. Nonprofits should focus on the community benefit. For example, instead of calling your grant proposal Summer Camp, say who it's for, such as Summer Camp for Foster Children. If I am the reader of that grant proposal, I immediately know that a fun and memory-making experience for children is being offered to children who suffer. I'm ready to read more. For small business, you can focus on your product's result for the customer. If your business is a math tutor, define who you want to teach. You might say everybody, but different ages learn in different ways, so it's worth the effort to define that market. Maybe math tutor for adults who want a career in accounting, or math tutor to help children catch up after COVID. Grant funders usually ask very specific questions about facts and data, so it's very easy to make your proposal very dry. But they've recently added a request for stories, which they might call impact statements or success stories. I attended a grant workshop where the funder said, "Make us cry," meaning they wanted applicants to tell truthful stories of how people's lives were changed. That workshop featured one of their grant winners that provides shelter for addicted moms and their kids. Or many people have strong stories about their life experience and how that shapes the business they want to build or the nonprofit they want to start. For example, in my Grants for Veterans video, I shared information about business training companies and veteran care nonprofits built by veterans for veterans. Here, it's not the funder saying, "Make us cry," as much as "Sell us." Your nonprofit or small business might be developing a new way to help the poor in your community, or growing organic food, or inventing a new manufacturing process. Show the funder what the need is, then how your approach meets the need, and how their grant dollars will make it happen. For nonprofits, maybe your work to help the homeless in the community stands out because you have a unique ability to build and manage partnerships with other nonprofits and agencies, and maybe even corporations. This gives each person you serve not only shelter and meals, but healthcare or job training. Pro tip, nonprofit partnerships are highly important to grant funders. For small businesses, maybe you have market research that indicates your customers' demand for specific organic foods, and you have developed a new way to guarantee fresh delivery. Or whether nonprofit or small business, maybe that preschool you want to start will serve families who don't have many options, and you're there to give their little children a good start in their education. Many grant funders ask for a timeline, which often looks like an annoying detail in a proposal. But it's actually a quiet little way to let funders know that you've really thought this through. Pro tip, that level of planning boosts the reviewer's confidence in your proposal, maybe enough to move it higher on the list of potential winners. I actually lost a grant proposal because the funder thought that the timing of the project was not realistic. He thought it would take longer than we proposed. That person was an expert in the topic, so that was an informed opinion, but wow, to lose the entire grant because of that really hurt. So here's my advice after learning that hard lesson. Be realistic about the time each task will take. Imagine yourself trying to make this happen the way you have it written down. Can you do it? Include contingency plans for those processes you can't control or predict. For example, if your project includes getting permits for renovation or construction, be sure to note in your timeline how you'll deal with any delays in getting those permits. Or what if you need to hire people to make the project happen and you don't fill the positions as quickly as you'd hoped? Even more important than a good timeline is a clear, concise, and realistic budget. Pro tip, grant funders often read the budget page first. Why? I'll answer with another pro tip. Because grant funders have very tight rules themselves on how they can spend their grant money, so your budget could be the first rung on the ladder of consideration. Break down your costs in a way that is simple to follow, no jargon or confusing formulas. Show them exactly how every dollar will contribute to the success of this project. To clarify, does this mean the entire annual budget of your nonprofit or small business? It might if you're asking for funds that will support all your operations for a year or support the cost to launch your small business. Or this could mean a specific project, including supplies, facilities, staff, and maybe a portion of admin time, though that last one gets sticky with funders. Be sure to read their instructions pretty carefully on what they will actually pay for. Sometimes the funder will provide their own budget form that you have to use, and this can be a bit of a hassle to translate your budget format to theirs. Pro tip, keep good notes on how you got those numbers, so if you get the grant, you'll remember how you promised to spend it. Sometimes funders are okay with your own budget forms, so be sure they're easy to read and that the numbers add up. Pro tip, if you need it, you can get free advice on budgeting. Nonprofits can go to their local United Way or community foundations for classes. Small businesses can go to their local economic development agencies for classes or go to the Service Corps of Retired Executives, or SCORE, for free mentoring. I placed links to all these free resources in the description below. Most of the time, grant funders don't know you or your capabilities. So this is your opportunity to introduce your team, which can increase your credibility and assure that the reviewer that their project and their funds will be in good hands. I just submitted a grant proposal last week where we were required to spell out the years of experience and the degrees of 3 people who will lead that project. But if that's not you, don't worry. What skills do you bring from one field that will transfer well to this endeavor? What are some past successes that you can highlight? Or if you're new all the way around in this project, do you have advisors or board members or colleagues who can help you through it? Imagine facing dozens or maybe hundreds of files to review, and you can guess what the grant reviewer is faced with. In all the grant hacks I've shared with you so far that involve writing, the catchy title, stories, a unique approach, timeline, budget, and expertise, here are a few more pro tips to make your grant proposal easier to read. First and foremost, avoid jargon and long sentences that may confuse the reader. For example, if I write AMA in a proposal, does that mean the American Medical Association, the American Marketing Association, or the USDA's Agricultural Management Assistance Program? Second, pay close attention to their space limits. Was that 250 characters or 250 words? That's a big difference. If there are no limits, then keep it as concise as possible. Use shorter sentences. Break up your paragraphs so it's not a solid block of text. You can use bullet points to break up the text, but a lot of online grant portals remove all the formatting. In those cases, I like to use dashes. It just takes practice to see what works. If the funder allows it, you might be able to add some visuals, but that depends on how you submit the proposal. If it's a document attached to an email, then you would have the ability, but you still have to stay within the document size limits. If you're uploading to a grant portal, there usually is no place for imagery unless there is an opportunity to upload an attachment, and even then, those are often limited to only what they want. Here's a big no-no. If they don't ask for a video, don't send a link to a video you want them to watch. They won't do it. They just don't have the time. If they did ask for a video, then read their rules carefully. If they say 2 minutes, they mean 2 minutes. Funders have so many more applications than they can ever support, so they have to begin weeding them out as soon as possible. The first weed out is for those who don't meet the deadline. Period. Don't ask for an extension. Don't ask for a special exception. Yes, there are times when that happens, but it's very rare because grant funders kind of see that as cheating. Not everyone has a fair start. By using these 9 grant writing hacks, you'll be able to craft a proposal that stands out, makes an emotional connection, and highlights the unique value of your project. Remember, the key to success isn't just submitting a solid application, it's submitting one that is designed to get noticed. This video serves small businesses and nonprofits, but I have a specific video on grant writing for each of you shown here to give you even more details and pro tips. I'm Tiffany. Thanks for watching. Choose which Grant Chatter video you want to watch next, and I'll see you there.